welcome along fellow time travelers. I am at Graceland. Now the mansion's across the street, and this is, I guess, their visitor center and other attractions they built. I'm very excited. I've never been here before in my life. Let's see, welcome to Graceland, the home of Elvis Presley. This is exciting. So I've got a ticket that I bought. I have a VIP pass. Wasn't the cheapest thing I've ever bought. It was like 250 bucks, I think, but it gets me access to everything. All right, so what do we got here? Graceland Exhibition Center, the Jungle Room Bar, Soundstage at Graceland, Graceland Tours, Elvis Presley's Memphis, and Graceland Exhibition Center. Very cool. I'm here early. Nothing's really open yet, I don't think. It's, God, probably 9:30 or something, almost 10. So got a little ice cream shop here. That's cool. Welcome to Graceland. All right, I'm gonna have to keep talking because there's lots of Elvis music playing and I don't want YouTube to freak out on my video. Wow, look at this complex. You know, I don't really know the story behind this, but I think, right, Lisa Marie inherited everything. And then she did her best, I guess, there were tours of the houses. And then I think some company came along and offered her some crazy amount of money, right? Like, I don't remember, like 400 million bucks, you know, something crazy like that. And said, you know, we could do something a little bit better than what you're doing. And they built this complex. Very cool. Interesting. Okay, so you got this steakhouse here. You've got gift shop, visitor center. All right, so I'm going to chop this up into pieces because I really don't know where I'm going, so I'll just start and stop the videos as I move along. But let's see what this is. Okay, so there's the airplane tour. I get access to that too, but that doesn't open till 10. Wait a minute, it's almost 10? I might be the first one to get on there. I should do that. Let's see. Oh wait, I gotta get my ticket. I have my ticket, but I have to show it or whatever I need to do. Wow, what's that? What's that all about? Let's see what that is. Very cool. All right, so you guys, here's a general idea of what we're dealing with. I'm going to go inside and show my receipt, my email that I got. Honestly, it's not as organized as I thought. They sent me like a PDF. Like, what the hell do you do with a PDF? So I got to try to pull that up on my phone. There's an app, but the app is like, you know, places to eat. There doesn't seem to be a way to, yet, that I know of, to access everything or how it works. So they need a better system, as far as I can tell right now, with ticket distribution. It's a little confusing. All right, more soon. I did get a chance to walk through his airplane 3 different times. I'm going to produce a separate video just on the plane. But at this point, I wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what it looked like on the inside. It's interesting because it was both larger and smaller than I thought it was. But how cool is this? There's like a living area. Then there's this conference room. And Elvis didn't drink, but there was a bar in the corner. And I guess this was a private space just for him, or maybe to hang out with friends and family. And then, in the very back, Elvis had his very own bedroom. How cool is this? So that's the second or maybe the third TV that they have in the plane. And he had his own bathroom in the back and dressing area. But how cool would it be for Elvis to come in here and just go to sleep? That had to be pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, you've probably slept on planes before, but you never slept like that, did you? And then you exit through the back. Alright, you guys, I'm in this little area here. You need a pass to get in. So they got this thing called Soundstage A, and it looks like they have events here. That's pretty cool. So for fans of General Hospital, on October 31st, they'll be having an event here. You would think on Halloween they would have like an Elvis Halloween event or something. That would be a big deal. Holiday lighting weekend, that's cool. Elvis's birthday, Elvis tribute artist weekend, that's cool. Alright, so you got this lounge here. I'm gonna go, I don't think I can record in there, I'll try. But right now I'm just gonna walk you around the outside so you can get an idea. There's some things I think they don't want you to shoot video or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what the hell they mean. Professional video, I don't know if that counts. YouTube. There's really not much clarification here. That's probably no different than any other museum. You know, don't use a flash or, you know, selfie sticks or whatever it is. So let's see. Elvis the Entertainer Career Museum. That seems cool. There seems to be a lot to see here. I'm surprised it's not more crowded. But it could be because it's a Friday morning. Probably weekends. It's probably up and running. Plus it's early. And a lot of people are probably either on the tour and they come here after. Oh, there's Archives Experience. That's cool. I've got access to that later. They did a good job. This is nice. I don't know. If it was me, I would probably have given it more of a 1950s kind of feel to the facades, right? It wouldn't have cost them that much more money. And it would have been kind of fun because what they could have done is park some 1950s style cars here, some Cadillacs or whatever. Oh, look at this. Presley Motors. All right. Looks like a gift shop. I think there's like 50 gift shops here. All right, so you got a diner. Gladys's Diner. I'll go into all these places and take photos. So this is it. This is the main drag, I guess. So I think tour buses come up through here. And then the parking lot is on the other side completely. And you can see the house from over here. Alright, I'm going to go into these places, check them out. There's really no place for me to eat here. There's like 2 or 3 restaurants, but it's like Elvis food, which is kind of a lot of fried, disgusting stuff. And I found a nice vegan joint in town and it'll deliver, or at least Uber Eats will. So I think what I'm going to do is walk through this as fast as I can in an hour, take some photos, check it out, and then I'm probably going to get some food delivered to my hotel, which is across the street, and then I'll charge everything and then come back, and then I'll go on the tour, and then I'll take some more photos and videos to share with you guys. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think this should have been, I mean, I don't want to beat up on it, but it seems like for the expense they went through, they could have made this look like a 1950s downtown, right? Some like Main Street America, right? Memphis, right? Memphis in 1950s, how it would have looked. They could have made these streets wider and they could have parked some 1950s cars on the side. They should have known. I don't know when this was built, but it's not Instagrammable, if you know what I mean. There's probably lots of stuff to take photos on the inside, but people want to take photos of themselves. They want to take photos of the experience, right? And you put some 1950s cars around here, you do some cool looking stuff like that, and people would really dig it. But no doubt it's awesome, and I'm going to go inside right now and check out the rest of the Graceland experience. I didn't record any video while I was walking through here, but I wanted to just pop in and show you. So this is one of the restaurants, and I kind of like how it gives that 1950s vibe, which is pretty cool. And why didn't they do this on the outside? I just don't get it. Because it's kind of cool, right? I mean, you feel like you're in a 1950s diner, got this cool car here, where it's carved out to have some seats. So it's like a little table, there's a jukebox, and it's really cool. So I just don't get it. Why didn't they do the same thing on the outside? I mean, look at it. It's so bland and boring. I mean, it looks like a bunch of warehouses. It looks like it's a place you store auto parts or something. I can't wrap my brain around it because they've got plenty of room and they really could have done something very exciting around here. But for whatever reason they didn't, but they still can. So I do go into the museums, and I'm going to do separate videos showing you all the different photos that I took. But at this point, I just wanted to give you a general idea of what it looks like. They've got all sorts of cars in here. They've got Lincoln Continentals, and they've got his famous, legendary, really cool pink Cadillac, which supposedly was his mom's favorite car, so he gave it to her. And he had a really nice white Mercedes. Elvis had a lot of cars. So like I said, I'm going to do an entire video just on his vehicles and this part of the museum. Now, whether or not these are all his cars, I don't know, but either way, there were a lot. You've got this purple one, whatever that is, a Lincoln Continental maybe? Looks like something that Huggy Bear would drive in Starsky and Hutch. And he had a Rolls Royce or two. And he had this Jeep. And he even had a Ferrari. And here's the other side of his Rolls Royce. And then you've got this Mercedes limousine. It's really long. So yeah, you've got a whole bunch of cars here, more than you're seeing in this quick little glimpse. Like I said, I'm going to do another video just focusing on his cars. And of course, there are plenty of his jumpsuits and suits. Okay, so here's the scoop. So I got here this morning at like just before 10 o'clock. I left the hotel at 9, but I went to the chapel in the woods, and then I walked to the front of the house. I took a bunch of photos and shot some videos. You'll probably see those. And then I came over here, and I got my super duper VIP pass. And so how that works is that you don't go over to the regular booths. There's a special booth in the corner. I guess not that many people buy these tickets. I don't know, they're expensive, and or maybe not, I don't know. So but there's a special booth where you get this pass, and my tour doesn't start till 2:15. And so I had, lots of time to kill, obviously, so I explored the place. I'm not impressed with how it looks from the outside, to be honest with you. I've mentioned that in another video that I may or may not share, but it seems to me that it should look like, like a Main Street from 1950s America, right? That would have been great. But you know what? That's my only complaint. Outside of that, the people who put this together did a fantastic job. Oh my God, you guys. First of all, the airplane, I went through it 3 times. I took a whole bunch of photographs of it. I shot video in there, and you'll see that video, but that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. That was cool. And then you got to go through here, and they've got the Main Street, and I've shown that in another video. Maybe I'll edit it into this one. And what's cool is that no matter what the weather is, you don't, even though there's doors to each different thing, you actually only have to enter one of them. And then once you get on the other side, the exhibits go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. And that's pretty cool. It's very nicely done. Elvis, I guess they saved everything. Everything. And they did a beautiful job. Absolutely beautiful, displaying everything, sharing information about it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk to my hotel. You can go with me while I talk, and that way you can get an idea of the layout of the place and how close it is. I recommend, if you do come here, to stay at the Graceland. Wow, you can see it from right there. The Graceland guest suites. So this is the parking lot. If you drive here, this is where you park, and then in the front are the tour buses. They did a really good job. I don't know how much money they spent on this, but they actually already had so much. So the money that they spent, you would think in a regular museum, you're starting from scratch, building everything, yeah? But here, they already had access to a treasure trove of great stuff from Elvis's life. I mean, they've got his costumes, they've got all of his cars, they've got his motorcycles, they've got his boats, they've got everything. But you know what else they did, which was great, is that they recreated like at least in one or two areas. Like they recreated Sun Studios. I went to Sun Studios yesterday, and you'll see the video and the photos from that. But they did a great job, and it actually looks to scale, to be honest with you. So they really took this seriously. Why am I going back to the hotel, in case you're wondering? There's no place. Now look, I know most people don't have my eating habits. You know that I'm on a plant-based diet. I have been my entire life. Make all the jokes you want, but that's how I was raised. So when you insult me, you insult my parents, and you probably don't want to do that. I had nice parents. But anyway, so I just ordered from a local place called Imagine Vegan Cafe. I think there's another vegan joint in town, and just to spread the joy and the love, I'll probably go there tomorrow for breakfast. But anyway, look how close it is. So you park there, and then you can check out the airplanes. So it's much bigger than it seems. You know, you go inside and you'll see. But, you know, there's like a lounge area. Actually, you know what? I don't know how the hell anybody was sitting when the plane took off. Because it's all like regular seats and sofas and stuff. You know, you would think you go onto a plane these days and you think you're strapping in to go to freaking Mars. You know, it's like, put on your seatbelt, raise the, you know, the tray and do this and do that. And here, you just, you know, hey, go sit on the sofa. You know, Elvis had a bedroom in the back. And it's like, yeah, he probably just went to bed and says, yeah, wake me up when we get there. You know, unless he had some company, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's pretty cool. And you know what? It's nice that they put the planes right there. Because, you know, they're not trying to squeeze everybody in Memphis or every tourist, you know, for every freaking dime they can get out of you. It's not like that at all. I mean, the fact that you could pull in just as a person driving by and like, hey, all right, can't get in there, you know, they're closed or whatever, but you could take pictures with the airplanes. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a billboard also. It's like, oh yeah, well, Elvis must live here. All right, so check it out. So the complex is over here. Those are the planes. That's the house. You can see it. Then you got some apartments, which I'm sure are lovely. Then you got some building that looks like it's condemned. Then you got another building. It says souvenirs. Also, it looks like it's condemned. I think I read, I mean, this is my first time ever in Memphis. I've been to Tennessee a couple of times in my life, but I've never been to Memphis before. Everybody, by the way, and this is not a political comment, so chill, but everybody is very happy about the National Guard being here. Very happy. They said that the gangs are everywhere, drug dealers, guns. I never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, I'm a New Yorker, and the stories that I was told and the things that I've seen, there's a lot of poverty here. Probably because, you know, okay, does the poverty cause crime, whatever, but the fact is, nobody wants to open up a business here. No big companies want to come here, certainly, and employ anybody because of all the crime. So, you know, for all the people bitching about, you know, the crime being cleaned up, I don't know why anybody would complain about that. It's probably going to be very good. No, it will be good. Not just for the people. If nothing changes in Memphis at all for anybody as far as jobs, it's still great. But the sheer fact that if they can get the crime down, maybe they could attract bigger companies that can come here and employ people. All right, so, you know, this seems all right. UNESCO, whatever, gallery and gift shop. Could be a little nicer. Is that even open? Who the hell knows? Now open, free to visit. It seems like they should really turn this whole thing into more of, you know, Graceland is a big tourist attraction here, right? Big tourist attraction for the United States, big tourist attraction for Tennessee, big tourist attraction for Memphis. I mean, why not make stuff, you know, most of the people here that I've seen are older ladies, you know, which is fine. You can imagine they grew up, you know, loving Elvis and all that. I've spoken to a lot of them. It's a nice experience to be around these happy people. They're hanging out, they're staying at the hotel, they're enjoying themselves. But it could probably be a bit more kid-friendly. You could probably create areas where this could be more of a family destination, yeah? You know, you drop off the kids, let them play. You know, like McDonald's, right? They used to have those things in the 80s. You bounce around, whatever. But there's probably some cool Elvis-themed stuff that they can do where you know, you've got this hotel, which is really nice. I have nothing bad to say about it. Everything I have to say about this hotel is 100% fantastic. Great experience being here, that I can tell you. And, you know, maybe open up another hotel across the street or something, and then create some better environment for children. You know, Vegas did that, right? Vegas used to be all, you know, adult men, right, going there. And yeah, I'm talking about 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s, I guess. And then the decision was made at some point, you know, we can make more money if we start attracting families. And so, not as if the Graceland people need my advice, but why not? Why not make it a lot more friendly? It'd be good for Memphis, good for employment, good for Elvis fans, right? Because you can imagine how many would love to come, but they just can't because, you know, they got their kids, like, oh, what are the kids going to do? They don't want to see Elvis stuff. But if there's things to do, that's another story. How you doing? Good morning. Afternoon, sorry. All right, you guys, look how close we are to the hotel. So I'm meeting my driver, my Uber Eats driver here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go charge everything. And then my tour starts at 2:15. I've got to go back at 2 o'clock. So I got about an hour to charge stuff and to get back over there, which obviously will not take long. And then I'll let you know about how that tour went. I'm very excited. Let me tell you, I'm really excited about this stuff. I love this. I love this, and I'm so glad that they did a great job so far from what I've seen. I expect it's only going to get better. All right, you guys. More soon. Safe travels on all your journeys.